Hello everyone, this is Phreak, and we've got another audio commentary going up for WCR.com. We have our players for today are returning new buff friend DT and gamedge.vanness, who plays Undead, obviously. We're on Plunder Isle, we're getting to the 15-second mark of the 1x speed, and I'll walk you through it, and you're going to be seeing some anti-warden usage here that you don't see very often. Not the warden, I'm talking about a different hero that Undead's going to use. And fun tactics as well as Night Elf fast expansion, and what Undead can do to counter dual-based Night Elf. It's pretty awesome. Alright, so let's go ahead and unpause this. We're at 15 seconds, 1x speed. Fog of War on. gamedge.vanness point of view. Alright, let's unpause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. So this is the standard build. Well, yeah, Crypt Sig, everyone does that. I don't know why, really. I still prefer the Crypt Altar, because you can still get your goals out the same, right? You get a faster hero. I don't really understand it, but whatever. So he's going to be getting some goals out very quickly. No real fast hero harassment because of the late altar, but that's fine. He will be going for the typical Death Knight because, well, everyone does. Coil helps in creeping. As it levels up, it's a great nuke. The aura is extremely helpful. It's just overall a good hero. So if you ever want reasoning why so many Undeads go DK first, because he's so adaptable. He can do offensive spells, he can use defensive spells, and he's got the sort of map positioning aura that lets you run around faster. And even gives Undead a little bit of health regeneration that they don't normally have. So by being able to get across the map faster, helps their ghouls out because they are melee, so getting up into range is always useful. The faster you can do it, the better. And just helps you go around the map to creep, go around the map to harass. And if you are faster than their army, then you can always run in and out and harass different bases. Always a lot better. It just works. So yes. Alright. So the altar's underway. Not a whole lot going on. So this is probably the something like 6th audio in the series or something. I think it only goes up to about 22 or something. I'll check the actual database and see just how many there are. I think it's the mid to low 20 mark. I know it's above 20, but I don't think it's quite 25. So we'll see exactly. Seconds are going up. Really, this is the boring part, and you know what's going on. I think my next commentary is going to start at like a minute and a half. So you see the ghoul scouting, and you see one Ancient of War and a Moonwell. And the Ancient of War, there's no real archers there. The hero's out for, well, actually the hero would come out just about then. So actually there's nothing definitive just yet that the Undead player sees. He doesn't see any sort of Tree of Life coming up, which is what he was scouting for. But he does find it odd that there's only one Ancient of War out, and he's making archers, because that's usually not what happens. That's not a standard Night Elf build. He's getting Tomb of Relics, so he can get a Rod of Necromancy soon. And he's kind of chilling out, chopping down the wood, etc. So, DK comes out. DK is running along towards the enemy's base. No Rod of Necromancy, because he had to get the second Sig-Rod up. So the Tomb of Relics was late. But, DK's coming around. He'll see what's going on pretty soon. Alright. Now, since we're still just kind of scouting around, I'm going to go over a little bit of sort of words to talk to you guys about. The GG Noob XD rap, that random stuff. That's going to be my signature if you don't like it too bad. I'm just going to be going through that, so I'm going to be doing that random stuff all day. Now you notice right there the Death Knight was going to go and pick up some boots of speed, then realized, oh wait, the patch changed that. I'm retarded. And so he didn't. But, he's still going to be coming into the Night Elf base, harassing what he can. We'll find out. So DK is running along. He sees that his opponent has crept something. He just saw the corpses. And here's what you really find, is that the Tree of Life is still making wisps, and there's still only one AOW up. So that means there's definitely something going on. Okay, there is finally Hunter's Hall, but that's a really, really late Hunter's Hall. So you notice the Detonate instead of a coil just barely manages to save that wisp. Someone IM'd me, and so I can't answer you right now. I'm doing a commentary. But whatever. He said, excuse me, Phreak? What? Am I really a noob? Yes, you are. Okay, so he sees 4 archers out, but really without any huntresses, and without any tech, that means expansion. Like, it's guaranteed. But you see that he's creeping with his ghouls right now. He uses the return lumber trick, which gives him actual 0 collision size. They just can't go through buildings is all. So you see that he has a warden out, he has Shadow Strike, and he doesn't quite get to check out the expansion. It's not worth the extra damage to the DK. He can always check it out later. It's not like he can stop it. It's not like he can just stop it with his one hero. So he'll live to fight another day. But there is a item out there at his expansion. I think it's Gloves of Haste. So you can get through that later. Techno Tier 2, doing the usual. Just pumping out ghouls, getting in the graveyard for statues. And he's got Cannibalize, so he can creep better. Picks up the Gloves of Haste, and now his Death Knight actually attacks at average still. But you notice the Sword Strike and the Coil kills a Wisp. That's something to realize that, one hit plus one coil. You want to do the hit first so that you don't waste mana. Because if you coil something from across the screen, it'll leave with 20 hit points, and if they use a Moonwell, you've lost all that mana for nothing. Whereas if you hit them first, and they're far enough away from a Moonwell, they're either going to be forced to detonate, or you're going to get a coil and a kill. So, as long as you time it right, as long as you don't get a late coil after they heal up at a Moonwell, you're in good shape. Now if they time it really well, they can detonate while the coil's in the air and burn you of a lot of mana, but generally not going to happen. But you see the level 2 DK is very important. He's got himself Dust, so that if he surrounds the Warden, or a Archer, or a Huntress, or whatever, they can't hide without still losing the unit. Dust only costs like 50. I can't see the how much it would cost to sell him, so it's either 50 or 75. I think it's 75, but whatever. I say but whatever a lot. Too bad. It's another one of the things you guys whine about. And you notice here he's making a Dreadlord, because the Dreadlord has Vamp and it's got Sleep. Now, Carrion Swarm is a good spell, especially as it levels up, but right now he needs sort of an instant advantage, and a 75 AoE is not going to pull that for him. Yes, it's another nuke, but he really needs Sleep so he can keep the Warden out of the battle, because if he sleeps it, surrounds it, and then uses the Dust so that it can't come back, it's going to be a kill, or it's going to be a TP. Either way, he'll be able to keep control over the battle. You see the AP is already up. That's something that DT did. He built the AP as soon as the Tree of Life went up, so that he could hopefully be in better shape as it went on. So you see the Wisps come out to detonate, and they will be doing that soon. And they blow up, and the Warden levels up. So you see there have been 2 ghoul corpses, so we've lost 2 ghouls and a pair of Wisps and a Council Tree of Life. So as you can see, he's already remaking the Tree of Life. You can click it and look at it being built. So the Night Elf's not going to just let that go. And you see the Undead is also taking a tier 3 already. So he's going to be getting some fast frenzy ghouls and hoping that he can just overwhelm him, because he's not winning on hero levels, and he's not going to win on economy, because the Tree of Life will go up pretty soon. It's already about 1/3 done. So he's going to rely on better units. Obviously, Night Elf can't tech very well when they're trying to build an expansion, building towers and whatnot. So he's going to hope that Ghoul Frenzy and Statue is going to pull an advantage for him. I actually have played a game recently. I don't know how good my opponent was, but he had a second and a half lag, so that can attribute to it. But did a Dreadlord Fest expansion and then 3 curved ghouls with 3 statues, and then added in a Death Knight later, and really the ghouls just wouldn't die. He had level 3 FOK, and every time he FOK'd, I'd use a healing scroll, or up to the limit of 2, because I only had that many. But the ghouls just wouldn't die, because they kept getting healed by statues and Vamp, and the Warden was really the only damage they had. The Huntresses, especially the Huntress Bounce, would get immediately negated by the healing. All 3 forms, Vamp, Unholy, actually also Coil, and also Statues. So actually really four forms of healing right here he has. As soon as the Dreadlord levels up to 2, he'll have 4 forms of healing. As he's coming in to hit the Tree of Life again, because really if the Night Elf gets a big money advantage, it's not going to work very well for him. So he sleeps so that his opponent can't FOK, and wakes up the hero, uses a Moonstone. Doesn't matter, he's running away. So he realizes, well, I can't touch the Expo, so that's going to go up, and that's bad for him. The Tree of Life finishes just now, and Tier 3 is about, 4/5 done. So he's kind of waiting for Tier 3 to finish, so he can get the wood for Ghoul Frenzy, and then hopefully win a fight. Because if he doesn't win a fight, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse as the heroes level up. As he gets more money and more units, he's going to get overwhelmed. So as soon as he gets Ghoul Frenzy, it's going to be his time to really to force a fight. So we're halfway through the game, so it's going to go either way. We're not sure. Oh yes, by the way, this is finally an ended commentary. And so we've got statues healing up. We have some items selling, such as the Gloves of Haste, for example. So not a whole lot going on just now. Regroups with some full hit point ghouls, and he's going to be chilling around, creeping some more. Really what he's hoping for is a higher level hero. Right now I think we have a level 4 Warden out for Night Elf, which is pretty bad for him. Shadow Strike FOK both at high levels and deals some insane damage. And there is a Wisp at his expansion checking out if he's ever going to Expo. So lots of bad things for the Undead player. But he goes right away to surround the Ogre Lord and hope that the statues and Coil can keep his ghouls alive as he kills that. Statue's doing pretty well. He has to micro back the ghouls, you see. And so right now his mindset is, well, I need higher level heroes and I need Ghoul Frenzy. As soon as I get Ghoul Frenzy, I'll start a fight. And you'll notice he just hits Ghoul Frenzy now, so his ghouls are better fighters. And he's going to be moving on to attack, I think, pretty soon. Or at least wait until he gets 50 food, then attack. But he has his 2 statues out, he has level 2 Dreadlord, which is quite important. He has a Scroll of Healing out, which is also very, very important, because that cancels out the FOK pretty nicely. Luckily it's actually capped now, so it'll only hit around 7 units. You know, so he kills a Wisp, and gets himself a level 3 Death Knight, which is pretty sweet. So, he's not making any Echo, so he's not expanding, though he could. He'd probably be within his rights to actually put up an Expo right here, and, you know, go for a bit of a longer game. You can just slug it out for a while as he gets higher level heroes. That'll pull more and more of an advantage. Something to realize is that when you sleep a hero, you want to do it right about when its cooldown's done, because if you sleep right after he FOKs, who cares? Because by the time he wakes it up, the cooldown will be done, and it'll just FOK again, and you really won't get much advantage from sleeping. Whereas if you cast sleep right before the cooldown's done, then it's going to take a while for him to actually wake up, and you've just saved yourself that much damage. And so it's more useful that way. So you see, he does have Ghoul Frenzy, and he's at 50 food. You know, ghouls are rallying up to his base. He has a second crypt, so he can continue to macro. And he's going right for the Moonwell first, so that he can't heal up his Warden and whatnot, because it is, you know, a mobile 300 hit points right there. So he's knocking that out. It also gets rid of some of the blocking that Night Elf would have had. And you notice he sleeps right away, and he goes right away sort of for what he can. You know, he's going right away into the back lines. He's trying to hit out some units. He's got the statues healing him up a little bit, and he's got plenty of coil mana. Not much for sleep, but, you know, coil's still good. So he's separated the army somewhat, which is really a nightmare to micro when your army split up like that, because you're going to have to run both of them in and out and in and out. It gets pretty tough. He's focusing the Moonwell, so that it's a little bit less money. A little bit less money from the Night Elf player. You know, always trying to pull whatever advantage you can. I mean, he already has the Expo, so try to make him waste money trying to save it. Here we go, he's trying to get into the back lines. He has a lot of low hit point ghouls, and so he uses the Scroll of Healing. And now he's just ripping apart the archers because of the damage type. With very low hit points, and they actually have some of the highest damage per gold of any of the units he has. He has 721 damage for each. It's just that, you know, hunters have the bounce. Who cares? Archers die fast. So as you can see, the ghouls are in very good position now. They do have Fairy Fire on them, but with the massive healing that is Vamp and Coil and the statues, and even I think he might have a healing scroll. No more healing scrolls, but he does have the Rods of Necromancy coming up. Gets a level 3 Dreadlord, and he gets himself some more onto sleep. Sleeps the Warden, and it's just knocking out all of the Huntresses. Ghouls have pretty good range, actually, despite being melee. They actually can reach pretty far with their claws. For some reason, I raised my hand up there for no reason. Like using this little swiping motion, like up from San Francisco. So he's just, you know, knocking out the Huntresses because he can. His ghouls are actually in very good shape. They are 1-1. Huntresses only have Huntresses are 1-1 as well. But he just managed to pull an advantage with all the healing. As you saw, you know, I said there's 4 types of healing that he has, and it really was enough to pull this big advantage. Now with level 2 Unholy Aura, it's a full hit point a second. It's pretty nice. You know, the hit points just keep coming up. It's pretty good. So, healing 1 hit point a second, and then 10 for statues, and then, you know, 15% of his 13 to 16 from the ghouls, plus coil. You know, it's really a lot of healing that he had for himself, and it worked out really nice, as you saw. Like, there's no, like, big deciding sort of, this is what you have to do to win the game. It was just sort of, you know, he realized that, you know, he couldn't let the Expo be up for a long time, and really he just had to rely on the extra little bit of Vamp that really, I think, kept his ghouls alive. If he had went for a Lich instead of a Dreadlord, I don't know if he would have won that fight, because, you know, Sleep didn't do a whole lot, because, you know, Wisp blew up on him. But the Vamp really did quite a bit for him. Just letting the ghouls heal up that much more, you know. Adding another hit point a second, or 3 hit points a second to the healing rate was actually very, very important. So as you can see, like, just this fight, you know, the AOW will hit them, but they'll heal right back up. I mean, there's some injured ghouls that are going back up to full hit points. You know, they're gaining 2 to 3 hit points a shot, you know, per hit, and considering that they attack more than once per second, that is some pretty good healing that they have. And you just add in all that stuff. You know, he uses the Dust preemptively so that he doesn't lose targeting, and says, you know, don't even try to hide, and just, you know, just knocking out the units. You know, Potion of Mana goes off, gets slept though, as you saw him. You know, you want to sleep as it gets closer and closer to the cooldown, but, you know, he wakes it up, and as you can see, you know, he actually had the bad timing on the sleep there. What I was stressing is that, you know, he slept really pretty much right after the FOK. By the time he woke up, he was just ready to FOK again, and so it really didn't do much for him. But as you can see, you know, Shadow Strike gets a kill, that's when the ward's deadly, when she has both those offensive spells. You can really do a lot of damage at once. Another FOK going off, but really just getting healed by those statues and by the dual auras, And since he's got the armor and the coil to counteract any Huntress shots, all he's left with is the Warden AoE, which is counteracted by Vamp and statues and whatnot. And since he's got so many goals, you can actually add in a third statue, a second healing statue, and he leads the game. DT says, GG, I'm a noob elf. Alright, so you can see the resource score, obviously in DT's favor. The hero score in gamedge.vanness's favor, just because he won the battles. His opponent was actually better off by creeping and whatnot, because he actually got to kill a couple ghouls early, when he was trying to kill the expansion and whatnot. But, as soon as he got Go Frenzy, it really did do quite a lot to counter Huntresses. By putting up the expansion, he really had spent a lot of money, especially by having to cancel so many things. He put up a lot of money towards putting that up. That it really didn't work for him by the end, because Game Edge hit pretty much at the right time. When he got his Frenzy Ghouls and his 2 statues, and he had all this healing that really just overwhelmed, because one of the main things to realize is that when you're expanding, there's not a whole lot of offensive potential there. Yes, there was an AP out, but that was, that's all he had in terms of extra offense. And so, when you only have like 2-3 Huntresses, I mean, obviously he had more than that, but just as an example, you only have 2 or 3, coil and statues are going to completely negate any damage you have, and you're never going to kill anything. And so, as he hit at the right time to keep his opponent's forces low, he delayed that expansion forever by, making one of them cancel, and then, another close call for the next one. And it was really, he delayed the expansion for a long time. And then when it finally came time to put the expansion, when the expansion actually went up, it was time for the mass frenzy goals with lots of extra healing. And it really just worked out well for him. So, I think that's going to be all. I believe this will be Phreak signing out. So, goodbye.